huge controversy has erupted online around Slay the Spire 2, and surprisingly, it has almost nothing to do with the actual gameplay. Instead, the drama exploded after players discovered that controversial gaming critic Anita Sarkeesian was listed in the game's credits as a consultant. For people who don't remember, Anita Sarkeesian became one of the most divisive figures in gaming culture back in the 2010s through her Tropes vs. Women in Video Games series on Feminist Frequency. Her videos analyzed how female characters were portrayed in games and criticized what she viewed as sexist trends in the industry. Supporters praised her for discussing representation in gaming, while critics accused her of attacking gaming culture itself. Her name became deeply tied to the entire Gamergate era, and even years later, mentioning her still instantly sparks arguments online. That's exactly what happened here. Earlier this month, players noticed Sarkeesian's name listed in the credits for Slay the Spire 2 as a consultant. Screenshots spread rapidly across X, Reddit, and gaming forums, especially after one viral post showed someone requesting a Steam refund specifically because of her involvement. And what makes the situation especially wild is that Slay the Spire 2 was already massively successful before this controversy even started. The game had reportedly sold millions of copies, reviews were strong, and players were generally loving it. But once the credit screenshot went viral, online outrage exploded almost overnight. Soon after, the game's Steam page reportedly started getting flooded with negative reviews in what many people described as a review bombing campaign. Some players claimed they no longer trusted the developers because of Sarkeesian's involvement, while others argued they felt misled for not knowing about her consulting role before buying the game. At the same time, plenty of people pushed back against the backlash itself. A lot of gamers pointed out that nobody even knew what Sarkeesian actually contributed to the project. Others argued that players had already spent dozens or even hundreds of hours enjoying the game before suddenly deciding it was ruined after seeing one name in the credits. That became one of the biggest talking points online. Critics of the outrage basically argued that if people loved the game before discovering her involvement, then clearly her presence did negatively affect the experience in any obvious way. Supporters of the backlash, meanwhile, claimed her involvement represented a larger ideological direction they did want influence in gaming. The memes also exploded immediately, because of course they did. Social media quickly filled with jokes, edited screenshots, fake warning labels, and sarcastic posts pretending games were now contaminated by consultants. Some creators and YouTubers jumped into the debate defending the criticism, while others mocked the outrage as overdramatic culture war nonsense. And honestly, the whole situation perfectly shows how gaming culture wars from the 2010s never truly disappeared. They've just evolved and resurfaced around new games and new controversies. Anita Sarkeesian remains one of those internet figures whose name alone can instantly divide communities, even more than a decade after her original videos first appeared online. What's especially interesting here is that the actual role she played in Slay the Spire 2 still isn't really clear. There's been no detailed explanation of what kind of consulting she provided, how involved she was, or whether her contribution significantly impacted the final game at all. But online discourse moved so fast that those details almost stopped mattering entirely. Instead, the controversy became symbolic, another flashpoint in the ongoing debate over politics, activism, diversity, and outside consultants in the gaming industry. Meanwhile, through all the chaos, Slay the Spire 2 itself is still sitting there as one of the biggest games of the year, while the internet continues arguing over a single name buried in the credits.